Hi, my name is Anna Hambright, and I am the registered dietitian for the cardiac rehab program and the lead outpatient dietitian at Cheyenne Regional. And for the next 10 minutes or so, I am going to talk to you about balancing your plate to eat right. This is our food guide or our food plate. It is the newest version of the old food pyramid. So as you can see, it has all of our food groups on it, but visually it shows you the food groups on the plate to kind of help you know how proportioned each food group is to each other and how to make a balanced plate. So we can take this example of what a balanced plate is and turn it into this. Or this would be the same thing as that food group and the balanced plate. Or this one. So these are all examples of how we can make this picture of a balanced plate and the food guide into something that we would actually eat. So we'll just touch base on each of the little food groups first, and then we'll go into how you can build your plate to be more balanced. So the key thing to notice about that plate is that half the plate is fruits and vegetables. This is a huge part of our diet that we're usually lacking in. So when we're having fruits and vegetables, we can have them whole, we can have them chopped, we can have them pureed, fresh, frozen, dried, canned, whatever way you like to have your fruits and vegetables, just have them. If you are doing canned fruits or vegetables, try to get vegetables canned with no salt added or canned in water. And then with juice, with the fruit, try to have fruit canned in its own juice or canned in water. You can always add in fruits and vegetables as snacks, using fruits as like a sweet treat at the end of the day, or trying to have veggies, like a fresh cut veggie tray in the fridge and have it with like a low-fat dip or hummus. But just try to add in more colorful vegetables to each of your meals. And remember, you can like saute them, you can steam them, you can roast them, you can have them raw. However you like to have the fruits and vegetables, that's how you should eat them. Just have them. The other quarter of the plate was the grain group. So when we're choosing the grains, we're trying to choose whole grains. And if you remember from that plate, this is a quarter of the plate. And a good estimation is that we have twice as many fruits and vegetables as we have in our grain group. And we're having whole grains, so we want to do that because they're high in fiber and they're complete. And so that means that fiber can help lower our cholesterol, it can help keep us fuller longer, it takes longer to digest, so it usually stabilizes our blood sugar and is really beneficial to our GI tract. One of the quick tips for making sure you're getting whole grains in your diet is look for this whole grain stamp here. That will indicate on the product if it is a whole grain or not. So there's a few varieties of those stamps, but that's a quick and easy reference. If you're trying to get more whole grains into your diet, try to add them to top a salad or have a bowl or maybe put extra into some soups. And the last quarter of that large plate was our protein group. So as you can see, it's just a quarter, so it's not excessive amounts. We can usually say the protein serving is the size of your hand, the palm of your hand, but that really depends on how big your hand is. So we use the deck of cards as you see in this picture here listed. So that's just a serving size for protein. Just remember, try to bake, broil, or grill any kind of protein source that you're having. So that's like our meat and our fish. Those are our healthy ways to prepare food. And try to choose more plant-based proteins to incorporate into your diet. This would be like beans, nuts, seeds, and peas. These can all be added to meals to boost the protein in the meal and kind of cut out some of those animal-based proteins. And then our last food group on the plate, it was kind of over on the side, would be our dairy group. So when we're choosing our dairy, we're trying to do the low-fat alternatives and think about easy switches that you could do. So maybe doing Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Dairy is really our main source of calcium and vitamin D. It's very concentrated in our dairy sources. So if you're not doing dairy, we want to make sure that you're getting calcium and vitamin D from other sources. So dark greens, fortified foods, canned salmon, sardines, molasses, and almonds are all great sources of calcium that are not dairy based to try and incorporate into your diet. So why is it important to have this balanced plate? Why can't you just eat broccoli all day and call it good? Because no one food or one food group can provide all the nutrients that our body needs for energy and to be healthy. So there's six key nutrients that we need for our body: water, protein, carbohydrates, fat, vitamins, and minerals. And these are found in a variety of food, all in different concentrations. So that's why we're trying to have that balance of the food group on our plate so that we can have all the nutrients that our body needs. So let's try to put this all together. What does this mean to you? How can you put this on your plate to have a healthier diet? So here we go. So it's pretty simple. So first, we have our plate, and we're going to start by filling half the plate with fruit and vegetables. So in this example, we are going to use peppers and onions as our vegetables. So whatever kind of bowl you're using or plate you're using, try to put the vegetables in first. Kind of fills up the space, and then you can tell if you're having half that plate being fruits and vegetables. So next we're going to pick a lean protein. So in this example, we picked a chicken breast. You also can do lean beef, or you could put beans here for your protein. And then the last thing we're doing is filling in with a whole grain. So here we have brown rice. So as you notice, we have half the amount of brown rice as we do to our fruits and vegetables. And now it's portioned. So the goal of this plate is that we have at least 2 food groups per meal. And so for this example, we have our protein, our vegetables, and our grains. And then we're trying for at least 3 different colors on each plate. So the colors of our fruits and vegetables and our different foods are really indicators of the different vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals that the food has. So if we're able to have a variety of colors in our diet, we're going to have the most beneficial consumption of those nutrients. And really the goal here is to avoid, we call it like the tan diet. When you look down at your plate and everything's kind of like a tan color, probably not the most healthful diet that we can have. And the last goal of when we're building a plate is not to double stack the food groups. So this is really thinking about, we're just wanting to balance the plate. So if we're getting double nutrients from the same food group, we're getting kind of repetitive amount of the same things that our body doesn't quite need. So and for this thing, we thought about like adding a tortilla, but no, that would be double stacking that grain group. So maybe we won't have a tortilla this time. Maybe we'll have a tortilla next time. So here's this plate again. So now let's kind of think about everything that we learned and put it into maybe something that we're actually eating, and think about how can we improve our meals that we're actually having currently and make them more balanced. So here we have an example of just a stir fry. So to make it more balanced and fit into that plate model, we're switching to maybe a whole grain rice or a brown rice, then increasing the vegetable amount and maybe decreasing that protein that is in there, that steak. I think this is a better picture to show how we decrease the rice portion, increase the vegetable, and maybe decrease the protein a little bit. So we're not actually changing what we're eating, we're just changing the portions of what we're eating. And here it is again. So in this example, we go from a large piece of fish, and fish is healthy for us, great healthy fats, but it's just too large of a portion. So we decrease the portion size, increase the vegetables, and still put it over noodles. So again, all the same components, just different serving sizes. Same example here with kind of a fried rice. We just added more vegetables to the fried rice, which filled in the gap so we don't have as much of the rice, more vegetables, and just a little less protein. And then say we're going out and having like a burrito with chips. So really, for thinking about a proper serving or more of that balanced plate, we would just have half the burrito, not as many chips, and increase our lettuce and the salsa at the meal to really get those vegetables intake in there. And then lastly, here's just chicken with a rice and broccoli. And as you see, we just changed the portion. So instead of having half the plate be the chicken, we made a quarter of the plate and half the plate be the vegetables. So it's just really thinking about how can you rearrange what you're eating now to make a more balanced plate, to hopefully have a more balanced diet and a healthier diet in the long run.